Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by Paychex, one of the leading providers of HR, payroll, retirement, and software solutions for businesses of all sizes. My name is Steve Boese. Worst CEO ever wants to hold workers captive all day long. With more CEOs calling workers back to offices and in-person work, you'd think the harshest CEOs would be the ones who demand full-time, 5 days a week in-office work. But you would be wrong, because for one CEO, being in the office is not enough. Never leaving the office is what he'd prefer. According to recent reporting from Business Insider, one Australian billionaire who barred his staff from working from home has said he doesn't want employees to leave the office even to get a coffee. Chris Ellison, the managing director of Australian mining company Mineral Resources, said recently that he didn't want his staff to leave the building to get lunch or a coffee and instead wanted to keep them captive all day long. His comments came as he touted the facilities of Mineral Resources' 2-year-old headquarters in Perth, Australia, which he has said employees love working in and includes a restaurant, a gym, and a new daycare center. "I want to hold them captive all day long. I don't want them leaving the building," Ellison said, who's worth $1.2 billion, and he told investors this while presenting the firm's full year 2024 financial results. "I don't want them walking down the road for a cup of coffee. We kind of figured out a few years ago how much that costs us. Wandering out at around lunchtime, well, we've got a restaurant here. We've also got a gym, and we've got other facilities that keep them glued in here," he said. He continued, "I have a no work from home policy, and I wish everyone else would get on board with that, and the sooner the better. But the industry can't afford it. We can't have people working only 3 days a week and picking up 5 days a week of pay," the billionaire said. Clearly, this billionaire, who likely has a slew of staff both in the office and at home, doesn't want any of the normal people to enjoy just a little bit of the benefits and improved work-life balance that comes with the ability to work more flexibly or even remotely, even for just 1 day a week. Working from home has become commonplace, certainly during the pandemic, but now many companies in the US and abroad are clamping down on remote working. And in the past few years, several CEOs have demanded that employees return to the office part-time or full-time, saying that remote working impacts productivity. Goldman Sachs said last year that staff should come into the office 5 days a week, while tech companies Google and Amazon have both told staff they must go into the office at least 3 days a week. Ellison said that Mineral Resources had set up its own daycare center as part of a drive to encourage employees to come into the office and to make it easier for women to enter the mining industry. He said that female employees were spending as much as $180 Australian dollars, or that's about 122 US, each day on childcare, and the company childcare would only cost Australian $20 a day by comparison. "Drop off the little tykes next door, and we've got doctors on board and nurses. We're going to feed them, but mom and dad will be working in the office," Ellison said. The only thing I'll say for Ellison is at least he's clear about the expectations and the culture at Mineral Resources, and that for new recruits anyway, they'll have the ability to self-select out of consideration for roles at a company whose leader is essentially trying to make work your entire life, not just an element of it. Time will tell if leaders with these attitudes will last, as the new generation of workers clearly have different ideas about work and the correct role of work in our lives. We will continue to follow remote and flexible working and all the important topics and trends in the world of work here on the HR Happy Hour Media Network. That's it for the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors.